is my total pleasure to announce the 2014 Telstra Small Business of the Award winner is Lark Distillery.
Blimey. A little bit like Nick, I'm very pleased to be here tonight and very much overwhelmed to receive this award on behalf of our family of the Lark Distillery. For the state awards, like Nick, we were absent as well. We'd a long time ago organised a family holiday, a long overdue family holiday overseas. But we managed to buy some big fireworks in Thailand. You can get the monsters. And we managed to entertain the resort in Khao Lak to celebrate the award. So it's wonderful to be here tonight. It's quite amazing. Our story is one of really at a time when the last thing in the world we wanted to do was start another business. My wife, Lynn, and myself and our daughter, Christy, were involved in building and running a pub in a ski field. At the same time, I had a very busy land surveying practice. And Lynn's dad introduced us to malt whisky. And at a fishing trip one time in the Highlands, organised to sit and enjoy a trout drinking a bottle of malt whisky. And we'd probably had enough of that to say something silly like, I wonder why somebody isn't making whisky in Tasmania. We seem to have everything we needed down there, but no one was doing it. A silly little thing you say, and then I repeated it to a few people, and I got swept up in a wave of enthusiasm to see if we could do it. Of course, along the way, I spoke to people about this idea. They said, Bill, you wouldn't be able to do that. You need millions of dollars. And I said, well, I don't have any money for this, but we're going to have a go. Along the way, of course, there's many obstacles in deciding to start a distillery. One of them is you've got to know how to make whisky. I knew how to drink it, had absolutely no idea how to make it. And so we went along to customs one day to inquire about how difficult it would be to get a distillery licence. We walked in and all the customs officers were sitting around looking rather bored, and I tapped the bell on the front desk and they said, yes, how can we help you? And I said, I think I'd like to make whisky. What's involved? Everybody jumped up off their seat. They offered to make me a cup of tea. And we sat around and we talked about starting a distillery. We started reading the Distillation Act of 1901, and we were going pretty well until we came up against a clause that said we had to have some enormous size still. And it looked impossible. It looked like it wasn't going to happen. And one of the things I want to do tonight is to recognise and acknowledge the help we've had along the way. After walking away from customs thinking it wasn't going to happen, I was walking past our local federal member's office, Duncan Kerr. I didn't know him, but I saw him in there. I went in, introduced myself, told him what I wanted to do. Luckily, he enjoyed whisky. And he got straight on the phone to Barry Jones in Canberra back in those days for us. And Barry was the Minister for Customs, Science and Small Business. And Barry, fortunately, enjoyed drinking whisky. And he said, Bill, go back, tell Bill to go back and apply for his licence. I will change the Distillation Act of 1901. And he did that in very short time. And in 1992, my wife Lynn and I found ourselves with the first distillery licence in Tasmania in over 153 years. And we still had no idea what to do. We had no idea how to make whisky. And very strangely, within 2 weeks of getting that licence, we had a phone call from one of the big distilleries in Scotland. And I was always concerned that they would think, you stupid colonials, what are you doing trying to make whisky? But the reality was at 10 o'clock at night we had this phone call from one of the big distilleries saying, we've heard you've got a licence to make whisky, Bill. Here's our private number. Please, anything you want to know, any time, day or night, give us a call. We'll help you make good whisky. And from that night and from then on, knowing that there were people out there willing to help us, one of the things that we've been very proud to do is help other people join the industry. We were the first. There are now 9 distilleries in Tasmania. There are some 40 across Australia. And we're proud to say that we've had a hand in encouraging, if not helping, those distilleries. And If I could say one thing, is that I don't think we need to be afraid of our competitors. In fact, I went out and created our competitors, but I look at them as colleagues and friends, and together we've created an industry that has allowed the Lark Distillery to rise and be here where it is today. So I want to thank our industry colleagues. But I very much need to thank, it's all very well to have an idea to want to make whisky. I've had the wonderful support of my wife Lynn, who's worked not behind me but with me all the way. Our daughter Christy used to have to walk out of a bedroom and squeeze around a 500 litre still, and has been with us for a long time. Christy was at one stage the youngest and only female distiller in the world. She was our general manager. But along with that, we would not be here tonight without the wonderful support of our family of people that have come to work with us to create Lark Distillery. We just had the silly idea. We've had this most amazing family of staff that have worked with us and supported us, the chaos, we used to call it, of Lark, and they're the ones that I really must thank tonight. Every single one of our staff present and in past, we've got a lot of long-term staff. Really, without their help and support, we wouldn't be here tonight, so I really must thank them. And finally, I'd just like to thank Telstra for putting on such an amazing award opportunity here. And one of the things that I've really enjoyed in this last couple of days, I wished I'd been there in Hobart for the State Awards, but I've met some fantastic people here. And all my life in business, and I've never considered myself a business person, but I've been inspired by people and the things they do in business. And I've met many, many people here in the last couple of days, and thank you all very much.